What up, athletes? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk some more about crime. I want to talk about 12 of the most common crimes in Guyana, mainly in Georgetown, Guyana, and how to avoid becoming a victim of crime. Now recently I released another video, put the link to it here, where I describe the situation with drug trafficking and drug crime and remigrants or deportees coming back to Guyana from the US having been convicted of crime and after serving their time. So what I want to do today is to alert people who are coming to Guyana, who are visitors to Guyana, about the crime situation, about 12 of the most common scams and crimes in Georgetown, and how to avoid becoming a victim. So stay tuned.
Oh, this is my day. I'm ready to take it on, come what may.
So you must have seen other videos on YouTube where crime and scams are discussed. For example, crime in China or crime in Thailand, how to avoid becoming a victim of scams in those countries. Guyana is no different. There are some scams that are characteristic to certain locations, and in Guyana, I want to list 12 of the common scams and crimes that are common to Guyana and to Georgetown in particular, so that if you're visiting Guyana from abroad, let's say you are an expat or you are a tourist coming to Guyana, this is how you can become aware of the crime situation and how you can protect yourself or how you can prevent yourself from becoming a victim. Now there are a couple of apps out there. I'm aware of an app that was created about around 2014 that allows you to track crime statistics. So it's a mapping app showing crime statistics in Guyana, showing the location where certain crimes are committed. And as soon as I get my hands on that, I'm going to put a link to it and information on it in this video or in the description below. But here are the 12 crimes that you ought to be careful of and you ought to be aware of before coming to Guyana, prepare for when you come here. So number one is counterfeit US dollars. So you can exchange your US dollars in the bank, or you can exchange your US dollars on the streets, right? It's in stores. So there are cambios that are licensed to trade dollars in exchange for Guyana dollars outside of the banks. The problem with that is that there's counterfeit US dollars going around, and the way this scam works is that somebody will come up to you with a $100 bill, a $100 US bill, which in fact is counterfeit and which you do not know is counterfeit, and they'll say, can you make change for this? Can you give me five $20 bills? And they'll give you the $100 bill, and you'll walk away thinking that you were a good Samaritan, you were kind and helping somebody out, and when you finally are ready to spend that $100 bill, you'll discover that it was counterfeit. I was a victim of that scam. In fact, it was one of the scams that caught me back in like the late 90s, right, around 1997, and I didn't come back to Guyana for 10 years because I was so angry, not only with myself but with Guyana for letting this happen to me, because back then $100 was a lot of money. So if you don't want to lose money, trade your dollars in the bank. The difference in exchange rate is really not that significant. It's about $210 Guyana dollars to $1 US dollar in the bank, and outside the bank it's about the same. You might get $1 more or $2 more. It isn't really worth it, right? So trade your dollars in the bank. Number two, this is the real estate scam. So for those of you who are looking to buy real estate, you want to be careful of people going around selling real estate that does not belong to them. That is, this happened recently in the last, say, 5 years. There are people who are going around the country looking at property that is abandoned, that is unattended, and then they put a for sale sign on the property and they try to get buyers to buy it. So they're selling you a property that they don't have the deeds to, they don't have the documents to the property. Right? So this is one of the biggest scams because it can cost a lot of money. People selling homes and selling houses and land that don't belong to them. So if you're coming back to Guyana and you're looking to buy land, you're looking to invest in property, do not buy property from an agent who is not licensed and who is not verified. Right? So that is scam number two. It's a real estate scam. It's real. and there are people who are losing their property. It becomes very, very difficult to get back your property after this scam has been conducted, right? Because now you have a new person living in your property, and it's difficult to get them out because they have all the documents to say that they own the land, which of course this is false documents. So 2 people have been scammed in this case, and this is happening to people who have gone away, gone abroad, and left their property unattended. So that is scam number 2. So number three is robbery, right? So just like choke and robbery that used to happen back in the 70s, there's still those robbers who will rob you of gold. So in Guyana, gold is very valued. It comes from a tradition where gold was kept as dowry, and so there is a market for gold, right? So people can fence gold, they can steal gold, they can sell gold, and so on. So the thing about gold in Guyana is that if you are wearing gold jewelry, you become a target for robbery. So if you are coming to Guyana and you're going to be walking around in public in the street, it is advisable that you do not wear gold jewelry, because this is attractive to criminals. It's one of the things that they can steal and they can fence, they can sell. So you should not even wear fake gold jewelry. So any kind of jewelry that looks like gold, that is real gold, that is fake gold, you should not wear, whether it be chains or necklaces or pendants or rings or bangles, wristwatches. Anything that looks like gold makes you a potential victim for robbery. So avoid anything that is gold or that looks like gold, whether it be fake or real or simulated. Right? Now you might be able to wear, if you're a woman, you might be able to get away with other kinds of costume jewelry that doesn't look precious or expensive. In fact, I don't even think there's a market for things like rubies or pearls or any of that kind of jewelry, whether real or fake. But don't wear anything that looks like gold, because that makes you a target for robbery. Number 4, right? Number 4 is you have these bicycle bandits. These are usually teenagers, young people, 2 or 3 kids riding around on bikes, and they will surround a victim and within a matter of seconds relieve him of his bag or her handbag and ride away with it. And later on they discard the content, the bag or the contents, after they remove what valuables they think they can get. Right? So these are people who are trying to get your cell phone usually. Right? So these bicycle bandits, these young people, they're trying to get your cell phone or trying to get your watch or anything that electronic that is that they think is desirable. So these are the bicycle bandits. Number 4, you avoid them. Number 5 are the motorcycle bandits. Right? So number 5, the motorcycle bandits tend to be older young men, and they're after cash. So they will track you if you're going to the bank. They will follow you if you're visiting the bank or you're visiting some store where you look like you might be transporting large sums of money. Their goal is to relieve you of cash, and they will also attack you, surround you in a location that is crowded. So they wouldn't necessarily wait for you to be in a secluded area. They will, because the crime occurs so quickly, they will attack you, snatch your bag or snatch your briefcase or whatever it is they think you have money in, and then they will run to their bike and ride away. So there's a getaway bike, somebody waiting on a bike, and there is the actual criminal who does the crime. And so that is number 5, the motorcycle bandits. Number 6 are the car burglary bandits. So they will either hijack your car, right? So these are bigger, older guys. They usually work together too. They will come with guns this time, and they will hijack your car, or they will break into your car, or if you were visiting a bank or some business place where a lot of money might be transacted, or if you're a businessman with a car, with a vehicle, these guys will come in a car, or they will hijack your car and make a getaway with your car, right? So that is number 6, the carjacking and the car bandits. Number 7 is when you park your car, you want to be careful that you don't leave valuables in the car and you don't leave valuables exposed, because these people will break into your car to steal things like your handbag and your cell phone. So they will break the window. Usually it's the tiny glass in the large rear quarter panel, so they can reach in and open the door, right? So that tiny glass panel in the rear window, they will break that and they will try to get in, reach in, open, unlock the car door, get in and remove your valuables. So that is number 7. These are the people who break into your car. They literally break the windows and try to get whatever valuables you may have left in the car. Number 8 is beggars. So these are scammers who will come to you and either beg you for money or for assistance. And they're usually well-off people, but they're dressed and look like if they're in need. Or they may be working in a team, say a girl with a group of guys, and the girl will claim that she was assaulted by you, will make a big stink around you and draw attention to you, and then it looks as if you're guilty of something, and then the guys will come attack you and rob you. So that is number 8. Number 9 is selling counterfeit clothing. So if you go to certain markets or certain parts of the market, usually in Georgetown, right, like major market and busy areas of the city, you will find people selling sneakers or clothing with the Nike logo or Adidas logo, and these are usually fake things that they imported from China. So this is number 9, that is counterfeit products. Number 10 is vehicle accidents. So if you're driving in Guyana, what tends to happen is that people do not use their insurances or insurance company to pay for accidents. So it's customary for vehicles, when they get into accident, for them to come to an agreement where the person who is deemed to be at fault pays for the damage to the vehicle that's damaged, for both vehicles essentially. In other words, if you cause an accident in Guyana, you're expected to pay for the damage to the other vehicle. And this usually does not involve the police nor the insurance companies. This is just one of the cultural habits in Guyana, but it can be a scam. That is, that you could be set up to cause an accident, and what happens is that the other vehicle is involved in the accident expects you to give them cash for the damage to their vehicles. So you want to look out for that. If you get into an accident in a vehicle in Guyana, if you're renting a vehicle or you're driving your own vehicle, make sure you report it to the police and then you report it to the insurance company, because this is not typical in Guyana, and this is in fact one of the ways in which you can be scammed. So number 11 is hate crimes. So in Guyana, one of the most common hate crimes is homophobia and attacking people who are LGBTQ community, who are from the LGBTQ community. So because of a very religious culture and a culture that is very sympathetic to homophobia, this becomes a problem in society where criminals tend to attack people who they think or they perceive to be homosexual or lesbian or gay or transgender, bisexual. Now there is a community in Guyana of LGBTQ people, but they are under threat. So if you're visiting from abroad and you are part of the LGBTQ community, you want to be very, very careful in places like Guyana, in general in the Caribbean, because it's a very homophobic society. And even if you are not part of an LGBTQ society, community, you can become the victim of this kind of crime, as I myself have discovered. In Guyana, I'm walking down the street and there are people who will call me names. In fact, once I was attacked and actually injured. I had to report that, just because people look at you and they figure that you must be gay or you must be homosexual or you must be a lesbian. It's just ignorance. It's a very, very ignorant society, and you want to be careful for that. You want to look out for that. You want to be careful to stay away from ignorant people, particularly in some of the less refined parts of the city where these people exist, and they can attack you because they perceive you to be part of the LGBTQ community. And number 12, the last one, it is bribery. Right? So this is a case where in Guyana we have a culture of bribery that still exists. So for example, you might be stopped by the traffic police on the road and accused of committing a crime, either speeding or something else, and they actually expect you to pay a bribe to get away or to get off. So it's a situation where the culture of bribery exists, and it is part of the criminal enterprise where people will try to obtain a bribe from you. Sometimes legitimately, the legitimate police, the real police will try to do it, and then there are those who will impersonate the police, right? So there are those who can impersonate the police to try to get money from you, or the real police can pull you over and try to get a bribe from you. So this is one of the things you want to avoid. That is, you don't pay bribes, go through the process, go to court if you are required to go to court, and go through the process of dealing with whatever accusation you have been accused of. So those are the 12 scams that you want to avoid if you're coming to Guyana. And remember, look out for yourself. Be always aware of your surroundings. Make sure you plan ahead where you're going to go and how you're going to get there and how you're going to get around. Use well-known taxi services, and use well-known people to help you get around the society, to ferry you around. I have a person that I know that does all of my transportation logistics. Make sure you get hold of some trustworthy person to ferry you around if you're visiting the country or the city. And stay safe in Guyana when you come to visit. Let me know if you find any of this helpful in the comments below. Tell me if you've been a victim of this kind of crime in Guyana, and if you can think of any other crimes that are common and that people should look out for and prepare for and prevent themselves from becoming a victim of. Remember, you can support the channel on Patreon and PayPal. Share this video with friends and family around the world so they know what is happening in Guyana. And like and subscribe. And later!